Alrighty, well, hello everyone, and thank you for tuning in to Room.fm. This is Tireless God, and I'm here with Omar, also known as Castle Wars. If you guys are unfamiliar with who Omar is, he is the very first player to get the Trim Completionist cape in RuneScape. He also has a golden scythe, and for those of you who don't know, he also has a YouTube channel with about 21,000 subscribers now. Thank you for joining us today, Omar.
Hi, good to be here. Thanks for inviting me.
Hey, no problem. Alrighty, so we reached out to our community and we wanted to ask them for some questions for you, so I thought I'd just start it off. So, I know you started somewhere around 2005. Were you a hardcore player from the very beginning, or was it something that you kind of developed into over time?
I'd say back at the time I thought I was a hardcore player, but that was probably like 3 hours a day or something. The definition of a hardcore player, I think, has changed a lot over time for a lot of the RuneScape players. I'd say I was pretty into it when I started, yeah.
Alrighty, neat. Now, we know that your brother was a pretty popular RuneScape player for his time. Do you think that his goals and everything that he had inspired you at all, or were you kind of always doing your own thing?
We stayed pretty much separate. He actually had an account called SmellyDog23, which was a main account, and then he got pretty bored of it, I think probably because I was sort of dominating the skills, so he went off and started PKing, and his first account was called WCing Heads, Woodcutting Heads, and he failed at Monkey Madness and got defense by mistake on that, and then he made I became Odds Eye, and he went from there. But yeah, we always did our own thing pretty much after that. So he did his PKing and videos, and I was just skilling.
Alrighty, sweet. Well, most people wanted to know why he stopped making videos.
Pretty much because he just quit RS in general. He hasn't really been online much at all in a long time. He still has his membership so that he gets his loyalty points, and that's pretty much it. But yeah, I think it was partially because he started high school, I believe it was, when he quit. I know he got into just real life and school and out of RuneScape. Yeah.
Alrighty. So in the years that all that you've been playing, what would you consider to be your favorite area or year that you played RuneScape?
Looking back on it, probably around right after I maxed, because I was done with skills, so I didn't have to deal with any of that. I had just joined a new clan, Skillers United, so that was fun. There were some skilling competitions that I was in and did well in. And then I was also doing a lot of minigames at that point, because I decided that I didn't want to go for overall ranks, and I had all of these minigames that I could do. So I was working on a lot of minigames. That was a lot of fun.
Nice, and all those definitely helped later on when the Completionist cape came out.
Yes, definitely.
Alrighty, so this is just a group of questions from a person. He asks, overall, what would you consider your favorite skill?
I'd probably say Slayer, because it has a lot of variety, although Dungeoneering can be fun as well.
I do enjoy the Dungeoneering, the whole community aspect of it. I do like that. So, like, to get more EXP, you have to, like, find other people.
Definitely.
Yeah. And I also think Slayer, for me, I kind of wished I went to 120, to be honest. I feel like I would definitely go for that, because I feel like Slayer should really be opened up to more things.
If they had monsters and things up to level 120, I'd like that, but I don't really want 120 skills without content. But yeah, I'd still get 120 Slayer if it were an option.
Of all the quests that Jagex has released, what would you consider your favorite?
While Gothic Sleeps, definitely. I don't know, I do all the quests when they come out, and While Gothic Sleeps was awesome. I posted on the RS forums, and I said that people should join my friends chat to do it, and I don't know if it was a full friends chat, but it was pretty close. And yeah, it was just fun figuring out all the puzzles, and it was such a long quest, just doing it all on the first day. I really enjoyed that one.
I still have yet to do that. I'm not very partial to doing quests, and the thing that's holding me back is the amount of quest points that I need. I don't know why. I know. I just really want to do that. I know now it's like really easy, but back then when it came out, that was all the quest points. Like you had to do everything. You had to have the quest cape to do the quest. I thought that was crazy.
Yeah, that's pretty high requirements, yeah.
Of all the mini games that you do, what would you consider your personal favorite?
I'd say Castle Wars, just like off the top of my head, but when I think about it some more, it might actually be Fist of Gothics. I really enjoy that minigame, besides when people are being jerks and like hiding in the houses and things. It's actually a really fun minigame. it probably helps to have a Steel Titan and just being able to dominate everyone by having better gear and levels, but it's also fun, even when they're high levels as well.
Yeah, I watched your 50-minute Q&A videos, and I saw you playing that. It looked like you were having some fun with the lower levels.
Yeah.
Of all the items you own, what is your favorite?
Probably, I don't know, Trim Comp Cape, almost definitely. Golden Scythe I like a lot, but it's not quite the same. Yeah, Trim Comp Cape's pretty awesome.
That's interesting, because I said that you were going to say one of those, and someone said that you said your favorite is the Chompy hat.
It's definitely my favorite headgear. I don't think it's my favorite item, though.
Alrighty, so I'm glad I win that bet. So how do you feel about the current combat triangle that's RuneScape, and how do you feel Jagex might mix it up when they try to release it?
It's definitely a bit messed up at the moment. They have all of these really, really overpowered weapons, and like Storm of Armadillo, and then you've got Karasis and AGS and all of those really overpowered things, and no real way to counter them because they just one hit pretty much. I especially don't like Karasis. That's such a ridiculously silly weapon. But then they've also got things like Ganodermic, which is completely unbalanced. I don't know. I think they really need to redo the combat triangle and redo a lot of the armors and their bonuses, which I know they are working on. They're working on a combat revamp for later this year, probably. But I'm not exactly sure what they'll do. I know they've mentioned something about having it requiring more clicking, like the more attention you pay to combat, the more damage you do. So maybe things like doing combo attacks, like in other games where if you click at exactly the right time, it'll let you do it. Like, I don't know, I'm thinking of the Witcher, which I played recently, where it like a red thing flashes as soon as you finish a hit. So if you click right, then you can do another hit and it makes it a combo and keeps getting more powerful. So maybe things like that. There's so many options to make combat more interesting. I don't know, it should be interesting to see what they do and still have it be RuneScape, because it can't, I mean, it's not going to be as advanced as a game like Skyrim or The Witcher or something that's full 3D with free movement. But yeah, it ought to be interesting.
That is really cool. Sorry.
Sorry, it just came to mind that Fremnik saga that they just came out with Moya, with the 3 different spells that she could use with the portal magic, how the fire spell slows down their attack or stops them from attacking, then the water one slows down their running speed or makes them walk slower, and then the earth one does more damage. They'll almost definitely do a lot of stuff like that with magic.
Interesting. Do you think that whole upgrade to the combat triangle, do you think that'll throw off a lot of things in the market, or do you feel they're going to try to keep it as close as to what it is now, but just with a different schematic to it?
I'm not really sure. It depends what they do. I know that they mentioned adding life point boosts to all armor, which, I mean, thinking about it, it could make next armors drop in price because they wouldn't have the advantage over the ones that are close to their level. Like next armor is level 80, but maybe they'll make Barrow's armor give like I don't know, 200 life point boost at level 70. So that might make next armors drop. They'll still be better than everything else, but that might make them drop. They also mentioned getting rid of damage absorption and just leaving in, or I mean, things like Divine would still absorb damage, but you wouldn't get the absorption on just normal armors, like Rim's how has the melee and magic absorb. You wouldn't get that because it really doesn't do very much, and you get the life point boost instead. So that might make something like Divine more expensive, because if it's the only thing that can absorb damage, Divine and Ellie, that might do it.
That does make sense, and it might throw off the whole Ganodermic use at Corp as well.
That would be nice, yeah, Ganodermic. They should just scrap Ganodermic and redo it, because it's just so unbalanced. First of all, it's supposed to be a high-level mage gear with melee defense, but then it doesn't have stab defense, so rapier hits right through it. So it's not good against high-level meleeers, really. And then it's used by high-level meleeers against mages, which doesn't help. I don't know. They really need to think about that kind of stuff a bit more. Yeah.
True. Yeah. Alrighty, someone wanted to know why you have the gold precision bracelet binded in engineering.
I do get some questions about the gold precision bracelet from time to time. It's not the best thing to bind, although it's not bad. It gives less strength bonus than Primal Gauntlet, so it's not as good as for melee as Primal Gauntlets, but it's better for mage and range because it gives more accuracy. I mostly have it bound just because I haven't done all that much dungeoneering since I got level 120, and I haven't had any hex drops overall in all of my dungeoneering, and I've only seen a couple blood necklaces total, and I haven't seen any blood necklaces since I got 120, so I haven't bound any. And then I haven't bound primal legs because I don't really need the extra defense. I never really have trouble with food in dungeoneering, so it's just the best thing that I've had dropped.
I mean, it sounds like a reasonable bind then.
Yeah.
So, would you say that there are any challenges in RuneScape? Not so much grinding, like playing the most games, but any kind of a challenge in the game that you want to accomplish?
Most of RuneScape is really just grinding, to be honest, so I would like to get really good at Castle Wars, because I do have a lot of Castle Wars games played, but I'm not anywhere near what a lot of people are at Castle Wars in terms of their skill level. Like being able to tinder a bunch of Cades and explode them all really quickly and score like that. I would like to get better at that eventually. That's probably the most skill-intensive thing. Not like RuneScape skills, but actual skill.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Someone wanted to know how upset you'll be when a new skill comes out and you have to get a 99 to get your cape back.
I won't really mind it. It'll give me something to do, and honestly, unless they make it a really slow skill, it won't even be all that bad to get 99. Yeah.
Alrighty. Would you say that you've played more AFK Castle War games or actual played games?
Definitely more AFK overall. I'm at about 14.4k games, and I've definitely AFK'd the majority of them, but I've definitely played a good couple thousand, probably 3,000 or 4,000 I've played.
Alrighty. For the whole direction that RuneScape's been going in lately, for all the ups and downs and everything, how do you feel about the direction that Jagex has been going recently?
I really dislike the Squeal of Fortune. The updates in general are decent, but yeah, the Squeal of Fortune is just, I really dislike that. I don't know, they do make pretty decent updates. I like the Fremi sagas, although they didn't really have any reward. I like the minigames that they've been coming out with. I'm looking forward to RuneSpan. In general, they do decent stuff. It's just all of this advertising and trying to get new members with gimmicks rather than actual content. The focus on Squeal of Fortune is just horrible. Like, every single update seems to have some addition to Squeal of Fortune, which no one likes.
I know. I find it crazy how much time and focus it's been having with Squeal of Fortune lately. I just don't understand it, honestly. Like, I do know it's mostly because of the investors and stuff who have now taken over Jagex, who are, like, majority owners. I'm assuming. I know that they want to profit out of what it is, but still, at the same time, I'm kind of upset.
Yeah. I just hope it doesn't lead into microtransactions. I feel like it's going to be back with the GE. Like, right before they took out free trade, they put in the GE, and they're like, if you don't like the GE prices, don't worry, you don't have to trade on there, because the GE had its limits back then, so you could only trade within 5% of the median price. And then their excuse for that was like, oh, you can just use normal trade, don't worry about it. And then they just take out free trade, so it was just like a little stepping stone there. I hope they don't do that with this. Interesting.
Alright, that actually leads into the next question, if you want to answer or not. When it came to the wilderness vote, what was your vote?
I wanted it back. I don't really do any PKing. I do have a couple PK videos, but I haven't PK'd in a while, but I know a lot of people like that style of gameplay, and yeah, I thought that should come back. I really didn't like fixed trade. That was such a bother.
I agree, because there were a lot of people that either I wanted to help or something, but I can only give them like 50k. And there's actually a guy the week prior, I gave him 10 mil, and he could not pay me back. So that was just terrible.
Did he pay you back when free trade came back?
No, because he doesn't play anymore. So that just ended horribly for me. Hopefully, I don't know, that's 10 mil I could use. Alrighty. Do you think that the introduction of new and faster training methods is progressing the game or actually degrading it as a whole?
A bit of both. I feel like if they had more endgame content for high levels, it would be very good. But they haven't really... I mean, they have made a good bit of high-level content, the fight kiln especially, high-level quests and some other things, but in general there isn't a whole lot of endgame content, just stuff to do when you're maxed, besides training other skills and making money. I think that making skills easier and easier is just the logical progression of RS. Everyone's going to be maxed out eventually. There are already like 3,000 max players or something like that. But yeah, I hope they add more high-level content to deal with all the high levels.
Makes sense. I remember I'm a player from '02 in RuneScape,
Wow.
and I remember people, like when you got a 99 or anything was even close, that was like a celebration. Like you had to call everyone for that kind of thing. Like back in Classic, it was grind city back then. There was like no fast training. Basically, like take away all the mini games and all the super fast training methods we have now, and man, it was crazy back then trying to get anything.
I heard combat training was like 45k experience an hour, which really isn't all that bad. I mean, it's a lot slower than now, but...
Yeah, combat wasn't that bad, and cooking is as long as you can find enough people to sell you stuff, because we didn't have the Grand Exchange or anything way back when.
And no noted items, really, or like certs,
yeah.
but...
Yeah, we had the certificates, but that was a pain because you still had to go one at a time to trade them in to that guy in Edgeville. It was like, this isn't fun at all. Like, yeah, you save some room, but... The worst part actually about RuneScape in total for me is since you couldn't put up an offer for how much gold, you actually had to click and hold on the gold, and it would slowly go up, and then once it realized you're still holding it, it would go up faster. So if I was buying something for like 100k, I would accidentally throw up like 115k, and I'd just be like, screw it, I don't want to take the time to go exact.
Wow. I definitely didn't know that. I've only gone on Classic a few times.
Mm-hmm.
I actually spent a few hours and got 37 prayer, or 40 prayer. What is it for the Monster Protect?
Yeah, it's like 40 something. I don't know. I haven't been on normal prayers in a long time.
Yeah, 100% protect from all monsters, though. That's great. Or well, maybe not all monsters, but most.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Where were we? Okay, if Jagex offered you a position, would you take it? Or alternatively, if you put in for a position, what would you want?
Well, if I were to work at Jagex, I'd probably want to be a quality assurance tester because I don't really have the skill set to be a content developer. So yeah, that's probably what I'd want. And if I were offered a job as a quality assurance tester, I would definitely accept. I think that would be pretty awesome.
Since we're a new site in development, how do you feel about a RuneScape-based radio show online?
I think it's a great idea. Yeah, definitely people like listening to my live streams rather than watching them. So having a radio show is it's much better for just listening. I mean, my live streams are focused mostly on the in-game content, but if people just want to listen, then a radio show would be even better.
After your rare set, what are your plans for RuneScape?
Pretty much continue making videos, and I'll make a little bit of money just to have on hand in case I need it for like player imports or something. But yeah, mostly just mini games and making videos.
Alrighty, and what are some of your future plans for videos, or are those kind of a secret to you?
I have so many video ideas listed. I've got like a notepad document which I just keep adding videos to, and I keep adding stuff faster than I can make videos. One of the main groups of videos that I want to make in the future is just going over all of the old mini games that people don't know or don't care about, and just making guides for those. I already started a little bit with fish flingers, but I'd like to do like trouble brewing and the gnome delivery mini game, maybe gnome ball, although that's even a little bad even for me. I like getting pretty much no rewards, but
I don't think I've seen anyone legitimately play that thing. Like, seriously.
It's so easy now. Maybe in Classic with like low agility and strength it would have been hard, but now you can just take the ball from the guy at the start and just shoot it right into the hoop from the you can have like one person get the ball, one person stand in the middle, and you just throw the ball to the guy in the middle and then throw it right into the hoop. The gnomes can't touch you.
That is pretty funny. I've never actually played a game because, I don't know, like I could never find anyone there, of course, or anything. And also, to be honest, I'm pretty up to date with things in RuneScape. I had never heard of fish flingers, and I feel like a terrible player for like not knowing stuff. Like when you made that when you made that guide, I was looking at it, I'm like, what? Is this new? Like I thought a mini game came out, and you're like, no, it's been around for a while. I'm like, oh, cool.
The fish flingers is actually one of my favorite mini games. It's really nice. There's a little strategy to it, and it's nice teamwork, and it's AFK after the first few minutes when you find all the combinations.
Yeah, I saw that, and I was pretty surprised that there's like a severely dedicated clan to it too, as well, which I think is actually pretty cool, and they're really on top of what they do too, which I really appreciate.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, definitely. They're really helpful. Yep.
All right, how important is it to you to actually update some of your guides once they've become outdated?
That's actually another thing that I've been starting to work on. I recently redid a guide. What was it on? The hybrid armor. Yeah, I did a video about it like a couple weeks after it came out, but that was quite outdated now since they've updated how it works 3 times. And I went and redid that guide, and I'd like to redo a lot of other guides. Familiarization is probably the first one that I'll redo because that guide is very outdated. And then Barbarian Assault. I only ever did the defending guide, but I'd like to do a full Barbarian Assault guide, 4 parts for each of the roles. Yep.
All right. What would you consider to be your overall goal with all your video making? Do you want it to be a part-time job, or is it kind of just something you're doing for fun because you have the free time?
I think part-time job would be ideal. I mean, if it were a full-time job, I don't know, that would be great if I could do that, but I think part-time job would be ideal. So I'd have stuff to do in real life and then a bit on the game. So yeah, I think like 1 video a day or a video or a live stream a day, and then having it as a part-time job would be amazing.
Mm-hmm. I always have liked just how consistent and how often you do your live streams and everything. It really helps a lot when scaping, or if you're actually doing something like the Till It Drops. It's just like something to go do to kind of get away from what I'm doing. Like right now I'm just chopping ivy, so I'm like staring at a wall basically in the game. So it's like, oh, everyone's going to Armadale. Let's do that, please, let's do that. It makes everything a lot nicer.
I like doing the live streams, and I like how YouTube has finally started doing the live streaming stuff, although I've been having some issues with their live streaming stuff. It's a bit of a bother, but yeah, it's nice to be able to live stream right on YouTube. It gets a lot of viewers, and people seem to enjoy it.
Are you looking at all for like a partnership with Machinima, or are you trying to stay with yourself?
I've been partnered with Machinima for a few months now, yeah.
Oh, actually, gosh, I'm stupid, because you live stream. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's like a dumb question. Sorry, I'm so used like to some other people, like they have that Machinima opening, like that red thing that spins sometimes in the beginning. That's my bad. I totally forgot.
Yeah. I'm not sure why some people use that and some don't. I think it's if you want to upload your video directly to the Machinima channel, you have to put that intro in. I've never actually tried doing that. I'm not sure how it would work.
So, what's your life outside of RuneScape like?
Well, I'll probably be going back to school in the fall. At the moment, I'm not really doing much else besides RS. Yeah. Not much else, really. I mean, like, I read and I watch TV shows and movies and, chat on TeamSpeak and Skype and play RS, pretty much. Lots of AFK and Castle Wars while doing other things.
Any good TV shows you'd like to request?
Supernatural is one of my favorites, definitely. I like Dexter, although it's not on at the moment, unfortunately. Let's see. I watch House, Fringe. Let's see. Yeah, pretty much those.
A good list.
Yeah.
Alrighty.
Fun stuff.
So you said that you're planning on going back to school and everything. What is your major for everything, or is it kind of undecided?
Well, I actually haven't declared it yet, but I've taken classes and I'm planning on being computer science. It seems the most likely that I'll do that.
Alrighty. Any kind of intentions or thoughts on like what exactly you'd want to go into once you graduate?
Once I graduate, I'd love to work for Jagex eventually, and if I finish up computer science, hopefully I'd have enough skills at programming and development to be a content developer. I need to take some specialized classes in game development, so yeah, I need to look into that. But yeah, I think that would be the ideal job.
Yeah.
Or like a dream job, pretty much.
That would be nice. I used to go to school in Chicago, and I was actually a video game major up there, and they had some fun classes for that kind of thing. Like, sometimes they don't really feel like classes, to be honest, when you go in there. Like, I learned about video game history, and that class was fun as heck, I'll tell you. Just nice hearing about, like, the progression of video games and where it's gone and everything, and we actually learned some cool stuff. So, yeah. Are you planning on attending RuneFest this year?
Yes. I actually heard that they're going to be announcing its location soon. There's a RuneFest group on Facebook, and someone said that they heard Monmark saying that he had recently been talking about RuneFest, and they were going to release the location soon. I would love if it were in the United States. If it were New York, that would be amazing.
Of course it would be.
Yeah.
Because that's right next to you, because you're like right there in New Jersey.
It's like an hour and a half away or something.
Exactly.
Yeah.
I actually used to live in Clinton, New Jersey, near Flemington. So
really?
Yeah, it's I kind of miss it. I'm in Omaha, Nebraska now, so I go from like beautiful trees, being able to be in ocean whenever I want, New York City, to being 5 hours from the nearest big city and just flat land. I miss it. My cousin every year sends me pictures of the leaves changing, and I'm like, I hate you.
I've actually never been to the Midwest. I've been to a lot of different countries and all over the Northeast, but yeah, I've never been to the Midwest. It'd be sort of interesting to go someday, I guess.
It's something to check out, because I'd say like we don't have a lot to do, but the people you meet and everything you kind of go to, it's a great experience, because it's not like New Yorkers where everyone just doesn't give a damn about you. Like out here, pretty much everyone's very nice, and that's the one thing I do love about here compared to the East Coast. So how would you say that you enjoyed RuneFest last year?
I thought it was much better than the first year. The first year I didn't really know anyone, but last year it was pretty awesome. I knew a few people who I was staying with, and then I met a bunch of people there. And the 2-day event was much better than just the 1 day. Much more worthwhile to take a trip over to England for a 2-day event. Yeah. Although, actually, one thing that I didn't like about it was they had all these different events there, and they gave a token when you finished each event. And then they said that once you got all the tokens, you got like a special prize or something. So everyone was trying to do all the events, and it just made it a lot less fun. And then the special prize was just like another plastic token. So, yeah, that was a little tricky of them. Yeah.
Okay, that's pretty funny, I'm not gonna lie.
It's like the updates in RuneScape. They're like, oh yeah, it's gonna be this awesome thing, and then when it actually comes out, it's like, yeah, great.
Don't tell me. Next year, you're going to collect all the tokens, and they're going to give you, like, a real spin ticket, like an actual physical ticket. Be like, there you go, good job.
If they have a Squeal of Fortune event at RuneFest, I'm going to, like, laugh and cry. Like a big wheel that you can spin and get a prize. Seriously.
Someone's going to, like...
I can see them doing it.
Someone's going to, like, knock that thing down or something. But,
Definitely.
Yes, I can totally see them do it.
Mm-hmm.
And just for a joke, they're going to have prices next to it as well. Do you want 75 goes? $20. Thanks, Jagex.
On top of just the tokens at RuneFest, though, like no one really cared about it all that much until they came out with a golden scythe, and then they're like, oh, maybe the special prize is something discontinued in RuneScape that you have to really do to get. So yeah, I don't know. The golden scythe was another mistake in my opinion. I mean, I'm really glad that I got one, but yeah, it wasn't fair at all.
What exactly did you guys have to do for the golden scythe?
So, okay, it was a dual event between RuneScape and RuneFest. So at RuneFest, you had to go around to different places and find different puzzles, or find different letters in different places, and you put it all together to make a sentence. And you also had to get like numbers from people who were in game. I'm not exactly sure what they had to do because I didn't do it. But then once you put it all together, you got a sentence, and then you went and handed it in, and then they gave you the first 25 people to hand it in were given a in-game code to trade in Dango. You also had to give them your RSN, so you couldn't sell the code because that could have been bad. People would have been selling it for like $1,000 or something ridiculous.
I can see someone buying that, especially an item that rare.
Yeah, definitely. I mean, people buy party hats and things for ridiculous amounts of money in real life. I can't imagine why, but yeah, they'd do it for a golden scythe, I'm sure.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. The thing I can understand with the party hats is at least you have in-game value as well, Like, I would never personally pay thousands of dollars for a party hat, like, for pixels, like, for nothing, But, at least there's in-game value of the scythe. I have no idea why someone would pay, like, extreme amounts for that, but I would see it going for a lot. It's kind of like the warship. Like, there's only, like, 2 of them in the game or something like that.
Yeah, they're pretty rare.
There were 3, but someone fed it to their troll.
Mm. Well, I don't know. I mean, the golden scythe is wearable and it actually looks pretty decent, so that's one advantage.
Since you can actually like see it and stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a big advantage to that. Alrighty, is there anything else that you'd like to leave us off with? Any comments or suggestions or anything like that?
Not that I can think of. I mean, actually, one other thing is that if you guys are interested in more question and answer stuff, I've got a couple question and answer videos on my channel, which I made in response to a bunch of questions, and then they barely got any views. So, yeah. But yeah, there are a lot of question and answers or questions that I answered on those.
Alrighty, well, thanks again for joining us today, Omar.
Yeah, thanks for inviting me. It's fun.
Hey, no problem. We really appreciate you giving up some of your time to talk to us. And also, guys, make sure to check out his YouTube page. He makes some great content. He makes great guides and everything. He has 21,000 subscribers, so you know he makes some good stuff. So if you want to check him out, be sure to check out Omustardo on YouTube. And the way you spell it is O-M-U-S-T-A-R-D-O. Or if you just want to make it simple, O, mustard, O. So, alrighty. Thanks again, Omar. And hopefully we talk to you again soon sometime.
Yeah, sure. I'd definitely be glad to come back sometime.
Alrighty, sweet. Thank you, man.
Yeah, thank you.
Alrighty.